Welcome to the Surviving Cancer episode number 2. In fact, I want to change the name of the series and not call them survivors anymore, because when you survive from something that's going to kill you. And today most people think that when you get cancer, cancer is going to kill you. The idea of doing these particular episodes is to give people hope, motivation, and inspiration that what you're going through doesn't have to be the end of life. It doesn't mean you have to die when you get diagnosed with a cancer. Today we have the amazing, beautiful Prabha with us on the show. She's gone through breast cancer, she's gone through an ER-positive breast cancer, and she's done all the treatment. She's gone through chemo, radiation, and she's made major lifestyle changes. Now, why are we going to talk to Prabha today? We need to understand that, number one, cancer is a multifactorial disease. One or two things don't lead to cancer. There are many little things that happen over the months and years that causes the cancer to grow and spread in the human body. It's extremely important for us to identify the root cause of what could have possibly caused the cancer. Sometimes you may not accurately get that answer, but when you really start digging deep into your lifestyle and looking into what was going on into your life 6 months to a year before you got the cancer, most people tend to figure out what was going wrong in their life or what changed in their life that could have caused a cancer. So today we have Prabha. Thank you so much for being on the show. This amazing woman has gone through it all, right from diagnosis to all the treatments, and she's come out beautifully from this whole treatment of chemo, radiation, and it's over to you. Tell me, what was going on in your mind at the time you got diagnosed with breast cancer? What were your symptoms and what went through your mind when you found out about this?
When I was diagnosed with the breast cancer, it was like any other people. I was also crying, and I was also doing, why me? Why this happened to me? Where did I go wrong that it happened to me? Because I was going to the gym also, I was following my diets also. So I was just thinking, why me? Why me? And I was just crying, like, why cancer to me? Why cancer? Then that cancer had become C answer to me. You have to go through C answer. Where did you go wrong? Not cancer anymore. So, then I just went, my lifestyle was so bad. Like, I messed up my whole lifestyle. I was eating late. I was going for the dhaba food, going for the tea at late night. And then I was using a lot of cosmetics, Luke, I was going to the parlor, and I was thinking, like, I'm using high-end cosmetics, so that will really, it's good for me, and wanted to look beautiful, like every other, so it is. But I'll say, when I was going for the nail spa, I realized that there was something sensation in my cuticles, but I just overlooked that thing, and I was going ahead with the thing, ki nahi, acha kuch nahi hoga mere ko to. So I find these are the root causes. Might be that can be the root cause for to develop the cancer.
It could be, like I said, it's multifactorial. Sometimes it could be many things that are combined. But 6 months to a year before you got diagnosed, what was going on in your life at that particular point?
These things only, because I was going through all these things, and this little bit stress was going, like, it is something very normal, that stress. And then when chemo also, and I think the cancer is a big phobia in India. Like, when I was diagnosed with cancer, and when I was going for the chemo, so, like, मेरे को ये था कि chemotherapy, I don't know what will happen to me, The whole time it was going around my mind. And believe me, at late night to mid-dawn, I was suffering so badly because that thing was going inside my mind. But today I know that you should always have that positive thinking. Nothing will happen to you. The positive affirmation should be there. And then my nutrition came, and nutrition really plays a very important role for this, for any disease, I'll say. But during chemo also, I was going through, and I taken Luke, and Shimply was there with me the whole time, and I should be thankful to both of you, Luke and Shimply.
No problem about that, but what's amazing is she couldn't get the right food, in the market for her own growth. So she started her own garden, her own kitchen garden, growing her own food, which I think was really a game changer, because you were able to get the kind of nutrition into your system from the food. Tell me a little bit about this little garden so that people can also try to grow their own home gardens.
I was growing the microgreens of radish and carrot and all, and then I started my own kitchen, like Prabha's kitchen, so that what I have suffered through my chemo, like during my chemo, that Diwali came, and I wanted to eat outside, but I was not getting the food to eat outside because nobody was ready to make food for me, as they heard like I'm going through this chemo. So I started with my own kitchen, Prabha's kitchen, and I just want ki like what I have gone through, none other people should go through that. And nutrition, like these pumpkin seeds, nuts, they really plays a very important role, because during chemo, like people, when my friends used to visit me and tell me, "Acha, तुमको chemo चल रहा है?" I said, "हाँ, चल रहा है." So just because I had no hair, that's why they could figure out कि अच्छा I'm going through chemo. Otherwise, I had no symptoms after taking the nutrition part. कि like मेरे को chemo चल रहा है.
I remember the time you were so worried about your hair.
I know.
And just look back how beautifully it's grown on your head today. I mean, you just got to be patient, and I think it's fantastic. The hair always comes back.
It always comes.
Anyway, I want you to I want you to share your journey on, what lifestyle changes you made to enable you to be in this position today.
I was into meditation. I was like, pranayam, and like 10 o'clock, I'm off to sleep. No matter what is happening at home, I am on sleep. And then at 4 o'clock, I'm getting up, I'm doing my meditation, and that really relieves you. That relieves your stress. And like people are on stress कि नहीं मेरे पास बाल नहीं है, तो I should wear a wig and all. That's all crap. That's all crap. I say कि you look beautiful if you're not wearing a wig also, because like during my radiation, I met a girl who was really very beautiful, but she was under a stress कि अच्छा मेरे बाल नहीं है, so I will not go out. She was not meeting. She was adding a stress. And I'll say you that cancer has given me a lot of gift also. Like, ठीक है, I suffered through a cancer, but my family was there with me. Like my friends were there. Pehले I had a huge circle of friends. Now it is very less number of friends whom I really can depend on. And my family, like first I was not into a family thing, Luke. I was nahi, family kya hota hai? My attitude was that. But now I came to know my brother, sister, my husband, all the dear and loved ones, they are just like a pillar to me.
Yeah, one of the real drugs which I've seen in all my experience is love and care, which comes from family or friends or relationships or whatever it is. That's the most important. Yep, while we have chemo on one side, we have radiation, we have surgery, we have hormone treatments, then you have nutrition, you have everything else. But finally, that underlying powerful drug comes back to being loved, appreciated, acknowledged, and mostly you find it in families or really, really good friends. So that plays a major role in your healing as well.
That plays a major role. I find family plays a major role. Like now I'm so much of family oriented, and this whole throughout journey, it's because of my family, because of my friends, because now like this purpose of doing the whole thing is like if anyone gets a message, if anyone is inspired by my story and don't feel stressed and take good nutrition and everything, I'll be blessed. If one also is inspired by my thing, I'll be blessed.
No, I think the point of the whole thing is there is a holistic approach today, which while chemo is great, radiation is great in its own framework of healing, but it's incomplete. When we try to move further away from nature and just only use chemicals and modern technology, it creates a gap for sure. And we see that happening all the time. So the whole understanding is, like I always say, imagine if you added more to just the chemo and radiation. No one is saying use nutrition and nature as a replacement for chemo or radiation. What we're trying to say is imagine if you used everything. There's chemo, there's radiation, there's your nutrition, your activity, the way you sleep, your emotional detoxification, and then there's belief and faith and prayer and miracles and everything else. And we got to create that. We have to create that for ourselves. So people out there suffering who are on this road thinking that the disease is going to kill them and that they have only limited options, I mean, believe it or not, there are far more options, and we just got to utilize them, because it's easy for our faith and belief to crash the moment we're hit with difficulty in life today. We have many great days and we're all happy, and we have one bad day and we feel everything's lost. And it's the same attitude towards sickness, but we have to understand that nature's given us so much, and there's so much intelligence in the universe that if we collectively use along with chemo and medication, I think the healing is going to be better for sure.
It is. Like I'm a live example for this. Like healing is better for this. And whatever you say in your videos, if all people follow that, just follow that only, I'll say nobody will get this thing only. Ki, like, prevention is better than cure. I'll say ki, like, nobody will get only.
Yeah, you're very sweet. You're very sweet to say that, but people shouldn't follow people blindly as well.
No.
You know, it's amazing, but I get what you mean. I think the whole idea of these series is to make people believe that it is possible. It is possible, and yes, there are many people who do everything, and yet sometimes they don't survive the disease, and that's destiny or fate or whatever it is. But that doesn't mean we give up. If we're on a road, we got to keep trying everything that's there. You know, there's bitterness. We spoke about emotions. You know, there's bitterness, anger, unforgiveness, all these things that, you know, most people today have in their heart. They're either not aware of it because they pushed it so deep inside. But the whole idea is it's got to keep coming up, and only when we start cleaning the inside completely, you know, not a liver detox or a kidney detox alone, but a complete internal detox of, you know, your heart and your soul, it makes a difference. I mean, we've had oncologists tell us, hey, listen, the patients coming for chemo, you know, who are meditating, we see a complete difference in the way they handle it. So I think you're a classic example of the right attitude. I mean, you've gone through a common breast cancer, which is an ER positive, through all the treatments. What's your message for people out there? Because I know there are people suffering out there right now with the disease. And, you know, what's your message to them as someone who's going through it? Because I fortunately don't have the disease. I can speak with wisdom and experience. You can speak as someone who's gone through it, you know. So what's your message to people?
I'll say, like, keep yourself calm. Don't stress yourself, and, you know, have right nutrition, go for meditation and pranayam, do whatever you like, you feel it's good. It is not that you have to force yourself to do something which you don't like to do. And it is your family, your friends, they are just collectively, they'll support you.
Okay. So I'm going to have a look at questions. If you have any questions for Prabha, please feel free to ask her, because she's over here to help you. She's on this path where she's going to give back and change the lives of thousands of people or whoever crosses her path with her experience and what she's done. Because like I always say, there's no fixed diet. I mean, the diet that she's been on won't be the same as another ER positive, because everyone's different. You got to look at genes, you got to look at previous lifestyle, you got to look at the extent of the disease, and all of these things. So, Prabha, you have a lot of love coming in from everyone.
Thank you so much.
And I should tell you right now, she's due for a final PET scan tomorrow, so we need to offer her loads of energy, loads of prayers, and loads of healing for the PET scan to come out positive. Do you feel it's going to come out positive? Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely,
it is
yes.
going to be positive.
And that's how confident she is, because we could have done this show after her PET scan comes out, but she's so sure that tomorrow she's going to have a clean PET scan. So we're going to share the results over here as well. So Seema has a question for you. What are the symptoms which tell us we have a cancer? What were some of the symptoms that you went through?
I didn't have any kind of symptoms, Luke. Like Seema, I didn't have any symptom. It was just normal, my checkup, and I just do my self-checkup. So I was doing my self-checkup, and I just found out a tumor inside me, and then I went to the doctor and they diagnosed me with the cancer.
Which is why self-checkups are very, very important for women, especially your self-examination. If you don't know how to do a self-examination, your gynecologist or someone can teach you how to do a self-examination. At the same time, if you determine a bump or a lump, you don't have to get into all of that fear. Sometimes there are cysts, sometimes there are fibroids, sometimes it's just a lump. So you don't have to be scared immediately, but step by step. When you do your CBC, it gives you a lot of information about how your immunity is performing. There's something called a CRP, which is a C-reactive protein test, which is a normal blood test which tells you the level of inflammation in the body. And cancer is an inflammatory disease, so it gives us a lot of clues as to what's happening in the human body. So all the very best for your PET scan tomorrow.
Thank you.
I have another question on elaborate a little more about your diet plan. Can you tell them what you ate or how you organized your diet plan while you were going through this, please?
My diet plan was organized by Luke only and Shimply. She gave me a lot of nuts, seeds, then to make my body alkaline, lemon water. Then I was off dairy, off sugar, and off gluten for entire this chemo period and radiation period. Now also I'm allowed very little bit, might be once in a month.
And let's understand why, because everyone shouldn't just get off gluten and get off milk and all of these things. While you're going through a cancer, while you're going through a treatment, we understand that chemo is depleting almost every class A protein, vitamin, and mineral in the body. So while we're trying to get nutrition back into a system, it's not about what you eat. It's about how your body absorbs what you eat. So the gut plays in a very important role. That's where the absorption of minerals and vitamins happen. Chemo, unfortunately, wipes out all the gut health, which is why, you know, some of the side effects are diarrhea or constipation. That's because your gut bacteria is wiped out. So we're very careful to reduce the triggers that can cause inflammation in the gut. So, you know, wheat and milk are the most inflammatory foods. So we try to, you know, get the patient off that so that her gut can heal and absorb more of the nutrients to heal her. So that's the reason why, you know, I mean, when it comes to cancer, there's definitely one and two things that I tell people to stop immediately. One is white refined sugar. No matter what anyone tells you, white sugar has a negative impact on every cancer cell. I mean, you don't have to have cancer to understand that sugar is bad for you. Everyone understands today there's enough of science showing how bad the overconsumption of white sugar is. When you have cancer, we try to stop it completely because there are two ways of healing a cancer. One is using chemo, which is poison. One is radiation, which is burning. And when I say poison, I'm not saying it in a derogatory manner. I'm saying they're cytotoxins meant to poison your cancer cells. You have radiation that burns, and then you have surgery that cuts off a part, or you have hormone replacement therapies that block certain hormones from being produced in the body. And then what you also have is the ability to change the environment in your body. And that's what we want everyone to be aware of. You know, you have soil that grows a plant. You change the soil and the plant doesn't grow. The same thing with the human body. If you have the wrong soil, you allow the cells to continue growing and multiplying. We're trying to change that soil. We're trying to change the terrain of the human body so that the cells don't have a favorable environment to thrive and to grow. And one of the best ways to do that is changing from acidic bodies to an alkaline body. And of course, by reducing or cutting out your sugar, because we all know that white sugar feeds cancer cells. Cancer cells utilize glucose as their power source to grow and to spread. So you don't have to be off sugar for a lifetime. You are going to be on it sooner or later, back onto sugar, but in a very, very controlled manner. And let me see what other questions we have.
I'm loving jaggery, Luke.
Yeah, jaggery is allowed. Pure honey is allowed.
Pure honey, I'm loving that.
Yeah. So let me see if you have any more questions. You just have a lot of love. And Ekta Sharma says, yes, I do have a lump, gone for a mammography, but it's negative. So you see, you don't have to be worried about everything. That's good for you. And I'm going to let you go through all the love that you're getting over here a little bit later.
Yeah.
So that's it. I'm glad. I'm really happy to have you on the show, Prabha. We wish you the best for your PET scan tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Your confidence has given me the confidence to realize that it's going to be clean tomorrow. And always understand whatever's left in the human body, we got to remove it. So sometimes we've lived in a world long enough to only treat the symptoms and not get to the root cause. And we got to change that because that's not shown any change in the statistics of healing, reducing suffering, or getting better. We want to see healing in terms of the statistics coming down, where we can make a claim as a country, breast cancer is reducing, prostate cancer is reducing, diabetes is reducing, people dying of heart attacks is reducing. Unfortunately, it's the opposite right now because there's a gap which is not yet filled, and that is lifestyle. We are only treating symptoms in the belief that it's curing us, but it is not curing us, it is only suppressing symptoms. So you take the best of medicine and you take the best of nature, which is your lifestyle. The changes that you have to make, introspect, look at your life, where am I going wrong on 4 parameters? Am I good with my nutrition? Am I good with my activity? Am I good with my sleep? Am I good with my emotional detoxification, my stress, and what's going on in my mind? These are the 4 parameters. You keep these working in line with each other, and that is the platform for prevention. That is the platform for healing. So thank you so much, Prabha, for being on the show. It's been amazing. Thank you so much, and we'll be back soon.
Thank you.
We've got people from around the world who want to share their stories and inspire you and motivate people that with their journey of how they've come out of cancer and how many of them are living for 5, 10, 15, 20 years cancer-free. Some of them have taken natural treatment. Some of them have taken the best of both. Some of them have taken only chemo and radiation. It's beautiful. We're not here to say which is better than, that something's better than the other. It is what suits you. It's what suits your body. There is nothing written in the textbooks that says this is the only solution. It's a mix of all the beauty of everything that exists in the world that suits your body, and that is where the healing begins. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.